Princess Sofia woke up early one bright morning with a feeling of excitement she had never felt before. Today was a very special day. Today, she was going to visit the zoo for the very first time. She had heard so much about it from Amber and her friends in the castle, but she had never been there herself. The idea of seeing so many animals, some big, some small, some furry, some scaly, made her heart race with joy. She dressed quickly, choosing a comfortable blue dress and tying her hair neatly with a ribbon. She wanted to be ready for adventure. "I wonder what animals I'll see first," she whispered to herself as she fastened her shoes. The sun shone brightly, and the air smelled fresh and sweet, making the day feel perfect for a new adventure. When Sofia arrived at the zoo, she was amazed by the sight. Gates taller than castle doors, colorful banners fluttering in the breeze, and the cheerful chatter of children and families filled the air. Everywhere she looked, there was something new to explore. A large fountain sparkled in the sunlight, and she could hear the distant roar of lions and the chirping of birds. Sofia felt a thrill of excitement she had never felt before. "Princess Sofia," a familiar voice called. It was Clover, hopping happily beside her. "I'm so glad I came with you. This place is amazing." Clover's excitement made Sofia giggle. "I'm glad you're here too, Clover. I can't wait to see everything." Sofia's first stop was the monkey enclosure. The monkeys swung from ropes and branches, chattering loudly and playing with one another. One small monkey jumped onto a low branch and made a funny face at Sofia. She laughed, clapping her hands. "Hello there. You're so funny." The monkey squeaked as if responding to her, and Clover bounced up and down with laughter. Next, they visited the penguin pool. The penguins waddled awkwardly on the rocks and dived gracefully into the water. Sofia watched in awe as they swam in smooth, perfect arcs. "Wow," she whispered. "They look like little dancers in the water." Clover peered over the edge of the pool. "I wish I could swim that well." Sofia smiled at him. "Maybe one day, Clover, we can learn to swim just like them." Sofia noticed a zookeeper nearby, feeding the penguins and explaining their habits to visitors. She walked closer politely and asked, "Excuse me, sir, what do penguins eat?" The zookeeper smiled warmly. "They mostly eat fish, Princess Sofia, and they need lots of practice swimming to stay healthy and strong." Sofia nodded thoughtfully. "That makes sense. They really are amazing creatures." As they walked further, Sofia saw the elephant enclosure. The elephants were enormous, with long trunks reaching for leaves. One baby elephant tried to spray water from its trunk but ended up splashing its mother instead. Sofia laughed, covering her mouth to keep quiet. "They're so big, yet they're gentle," she whispered. Clover hopped closer to the fence, amazed. "I didn't know elephants could be playful too." After that, Sofia and Clover visited the giraffes, whose long necks stretched high into the sky as they nibbled leaves from tall trees. One giraffe bent down to look at them, its big, gentle eyes making Sofia feel like she was meeting a wise friend. "Hello, friend," Sofia said softly. "You're so tall and graceful." Clover bounced with excitement. "I wish I could reach the treetops like that." Sofia noticed a small petting area where visitors could touch and feed some animals. She gently petted a soft, fluffy rabbit and giggled as it twitched its nose. Clover tried to reach a little goat but ended up getting a playful nuzzle instead. Sofia laughed. "Clover, you're not used to animals like this, are you?" Clover shook his head, his ears twitching. "Not this close. But it's fun." By midday, Sofia had visited birds, reptiles, and even a few playful otters. She marveled at each creature, asking questions and learning new things. She loved how different animals lived in different ways, some in trees, some in water, some on land, and how each one had its own special abilities. Clover listened carefully, fascinated by everything she said. Finally, they stopped at a quiet garden area to rest. Sofia sat on a bench, taking a deep breath. The day had been full of new sights, sounds, and experiences. She felt happy and peaceful, grateful for the chance to explore. Clover hopped onto the bench beside her. "This has been the best day ever, Princess Sofia. I never knew there were so many amazing animals." Sofia smiled warmly, petting Clover gently. It really is amazing, Clover. And there's still so much more to explore tomorrow. She thought about the lions roaring in the distance, the zebras grazing quietly, and the flamingos standing gracefully on one leg. Each animal had taught her something about patience, strength, balance, and beauty in different forms. As the sun began to set, casting long golden shadows over the zoo, Sofia felt a quiet excitement for the next day. Tomorrow, she would see even more creatures, ask more questions, and maybe even learn some fun facts from the zookeepers. But tonight, she would dream of monkeys swinging, penguins dancing, and elephants splashing in the water. Sofia had discovered that visiting the zoo was not just about seeing animals. It was about learning, exploring, and appreciating the world around her. And she couldn't wait for the adventures that tomorrow would bring. The next morning, Princess Sofia woke up with the same bubbling excitement she had felt the day before. She quickly dressed in her comfortable green dress and tied her hair neatly, ready for another adventure. Clover was already waiting outside, hopping with excitement. "Princess Sofia, are you ready for more animals today?" he called. Sofia smiled and nodded. "I can't wait, Clover. There are so many more animals to see." As they entered the zoo, Sofia noticed the sounds of the animals from a distance, chirping, roaring, and even the soft splashes of water. Today, she had decided to visit some of the areas she hadn't explored yesterday. She was eager to see the reptile house, the bird aviary, and the big cat enclosures. Their first stop was the reptile house. Sofia stepped carefully, noticing the cooler air inside. Glass enclosures lined the walls, each housing fascinating creatures. Snakes coiled quietly in their tanks, some with bright colors that caught her eye. Lizards climbed rocks, flicking their tongues quickly. Sofia watched in amazement. "They're so quiet, yet so full of life," she whispered. Clover peeked around the glass, a little nervous. "They're kind of scary, Princess Sofia." "I like them." A friendly zookeeper walked by and noticed their curiosity. "Would you like to know something interesting about the snakes?" he asked. Sofia's eyes lit up. "Yes, please." The zookeeper explained that snakes shed their skin to grow, and that each pattern on their body is unique, just like a person's fingerprints. Sofia listened carefully, fascinated. "Wow, that's incredible. Every snake is special," she said. Clover bounced excitedly. "So every snake has its own style. I like that." Next, they visited the bird aviary. The large enclosure was filled with colorful birds, some flying freely while others perched on branches. Parrots squawked cheerfully, showing off their bright feathers, while smaller songbirds sang beautiful melodies. Sofia clapped her hands softly in delight. "They're like little flying jewels," she whispered. Clover tilted his head. "Flying jewels? That's a good way to describe them." A zookeeper demonstrated how to safely feed some of the birds with seeds. Sofia carefully offered a tiny piece of food to a bright yellow finch. The bird hopped onto her finger, pecked gently, and then fluttered away. "It's so delicate and gentle," Sofia said softly. Clover tried to offer seeds to a small parakeet, but it quickly flew to a nearby branch. He shrugged. "I guess it's shy like me sometimes." Sofia laughed. After leaving the aviary, Sofia and Clover wandered toward the big cat enclosures. Lions lounged majestically under the shade of trees, their golden manes glowing in the sunlight. Tigers prowled gracefully, their stripes making them look like living works of art. Sofia watched in awe as the animals stretched and roared softly. "They're so strong and beautiful," she whispered. Clover's ears twitched nervously. "I wouldn't want to meet one up close." A zookeeper explained how these animals live and hunt in the wild, and how the zoo works to keep them safe and healthy. Sofia listened carefully, fascinated by the way each animal had its own special skills and habits. "It's amazing how every creature is different, but they all need care and respect," she said thoughtfully. By midday, Sofia and Clover had explored many enclosures, learning new things about each animal. Sofia realized she was becoming braver. She had touched a rabbit, fed a bird, and even observed snakes up close without fear. Each encounter taught her something new about courage, curiosity, and respect for nature. Feeling a little hungry, they stopped at a picnic area to rest and enjoy some sandwiches. While eating, Sofia noticed other children sharing their snacks with a friendly group of animals in the petting area. She smiled. "Clover, do you see that? Sharing and being kind to animals is part of visiting the zoo too." Clover nodded. "Yes. Helping and being gentle is just as fun as watching them." After lunch, they wandered toward the pond area, where ducks, swans, and turtles lived. Sofia gently tossed breadcrumbs to the ducks and watched them paddle gracefully. A swan glided past, its white feathers shining in the sun. "They're so elegant," Sofia whispered. Clover looked at the turtles sunbathing on rocks. "They move slowly, but they seem really wise," he said. Sofia nodded thoughtfully. Every animal has its own way of showing strength and beauty. As the afternoon went on, Sofia felt herself becoming more confident and curious. She asked questions about the animals' habitats, diets, and behaviors. Each answer made her feel like she was learning more than she ever had before. Clover bounced beside her, amazed at everything she noticed. "Princess Sofia, you really know a lot about animals now." Sofia smiled shyly. "I'm learning as I go, Clover. It's the best part of visiting the zoo." Finally, as the sun began to lower in the sky, Sofia found a quiet spot near the butterfly garden. Hundreds of colorful butterflies fluttered around, landing softly on flowers and leaves. Sofia stood still, watching them with wide eyes. Clover hopped gently behind a bush to watch without disturbing them. Sofia realized something important. Patience and respect allowed her to appreciate the beauty of nature even more. As they left the zoo for the day, Sofia felt proud of herself. She had seen so many animals, learned about their lives, and even interacted with some of them. More than that, she had discovered a deeper sense of curiosity, respect, and wonder for the natural world. Clover hopped happily beside her. "Princess Sofia, that was the best day ever. I can't wait to come back tomorrow." Sofia smiled, looking back at the zoo gates, now glowing softly in the afternoon sunlight. "Me too, Clover. There's still so much more to explore. And tomorrow, we'll meet even more amazing creatures." Little did Sofia know, the next day would bring encounters with some of the zoo's most playful and curious animals, an adventure that would teach her teamwork, patience, and a special lesson about friendship. The next morning, Princess Sofia woke with a bright smile on her face. Today, she was determined to explore the zoo even more thoroughly. She dressed in her favorite yellow dress, tied her hair neatly with a ribbon, and grabbed her little backpack, packed with water, a snack, and a small notebook to record interesting facts about the animals. Clover bounced alongside her, practically vibrating with excitement. "Princess Sofia, I can't wait to see what animals we meet today," he exclaimed. Sofia laughed and held Clover's paw. "Me neither, Clover. Let's go meet some playful animals today." Their first stop was the otter pond. The otters were swimming gracefully, twisting and turning in the water. One otter popped its head up and squeaked, as if saying hello. Sofia giggled. "Hello there. You're so playful." She watched as the otters slid down small rocks into the water, splashing and chasing each other. Clover bounced with excitement. "They're like tiny water dancers. I wish I could swim like that." Sofia noticed that the otters were curious about her too. One of them came close to the edge of the pond and peeked at her, tilting its head. Sofia leaned down carefully, holding out her hand. The otter sniffed it and then splashed back into the water. Sofia clapped softly. "You're so clever and fun." Clover grinned. "That was amazing, Princess Sofia." Next, they wandered toward the meerkat enclosure. The meerkats stood on their hind legs, scanning the area with bright, curious eyes. Sofia crouched slightly to get a better look. "They're so small, but they're so brave," she whispered. One meerkat popped up on a rock, wiggled its tail, and looked directly at her. Clover giggled. "They look like tiny guards, always watching everything." Sofia learned from a zookeeper that meerkats live in groups and work together to protect each other from danger. "Wow," Sofia said, "they really understand teamwork. Maybe we can learn something from them too." Clover nodded thoughtfully. "Yes. We should always help each other, like the meerkats do. After that, Sofia and Clover visited the parrot aviary, which was even more colorful than the day before. Parrots squawked and flapped their wings, flying from branch to branch. One parrot landed nearby, eyeing Sofia curiously. She held out her finger and whispered softly, "Hello, friend." The parrot tilted its head and squawked, then fluttered off to a higher branch. Sofia giggled. "You're so clever." Clover tried to mimic the parrot's sounds, but only produced a funny squeak. Sofia laughed. "Don't worry, Clover, you're better at hopping than squawking." Clover bounced happily, not minding the gentle tease. Their next stop was the monkey playground, where playful monkeys swung from ropes and climbed trees. One mischievous monkey grabbed a small hat from a visitor and scampered up a branch. Sofia clapped her hands in delight. "Look at that. They're so clever and full of energy." Clover bounced beside her. "I think I need to practice my swinging too." Sofia noticed that the monkeys were also very social, grooming one another and playing together. She smiled, thinking about how important it was for friends to care for each other. "Clover," she said gently, "we can learn a lot from these monkeys. They play, but they also take care of each other." Clover nodded thoughtfully, hopping a little closer to her side. As midday approached, Sofia and Clover walked toward the petting area again. Today they met goats, sheep, and a few tiny ponies. Sofia gently stroked a soft, fluffy goat, and it nuzzled her hand affectionately. Clover tried to feed a small sheep, which nudged his hand softly. Sofia laughed. "See, Clover? Being gentle and kind is the best way to make friends with animals." Clover nodded, watching the animals carefully. "I get it now, Princess Sofia. Patience and kindness really do work." After playing with the petting animals, they explored the reptile garden outside. A friendly turtle walked slowly across a path, and Sofia crouched down to watch it carefully. "Look at how steady it moves," she whispered. Clover observed too. "Slow but careful. I think that's smart." Sofia nodded. "Yes, Clover. Sometimes moving carefully is better than rushing." Finally, Sofia and Clover visited a quiet corner of the zoo with a butterfly garden. Hundreds of colorful butterflies floated around, landing delicately on flowers. Sofia stood still, watching them in awe. She noticed how each butterfly moved gently, fluttering softly and peacefully. Clover whispered, "They're so gentle and beautiful. I wish I could fly like that." Sofia smiled. "We can't fly, Clover, but we can always be gentle and enjoy the beauty around us." As the day ended, Sofia felt tired but happy. She had met so many playful animals, learned new things about them, and even discovered lessons about patience, teamwork, and kindness. Clover hopped beside her, tired but smiling. "Princess Sofia, today was the best day. I learned so much." Sofia smiled back. "I did too, Clover. Every animal taught us something: how to play, how to care for each other, and how to be gentle. And tomorrow, we'll have even more adventures. There are still so many animals to see." The sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow across the zoo. Sofia looked back at the animals she had met, from playful otters to gentle butterflies, and felt a deep sense of wonder. Visiting the zoo wasn't just about seeing animals. It was about learning from them, enjoying their uniqueness, and appreciating the world around her. As Sofia and Clover left the zoo, they promised each other that they would return soon. Tomorrow would bring more adventures, new friends, and even bigger surprises. Sofia felt a sense of excitement she had never felt before, knowing that her journey of discovery was just beginning. The next morning, Princess Sofia woke with a thrill of anticipation. Today, she was going to explore the most unusual animals at the zoo, creatures she had only read about in books. She quickly dressed in her favorite purple dress, tied her hair neatly with a ribbon, and grabbed her small backpack filled with snacks, water, and her notebook to jot down interesting facts. Clover hopped excitedly beside her. "Princess Sofia, I can't wait to see today's animals," he exclaimed. Sofia laughed. "Me neither, Clover. Let's go find some new friends." Their first stop was the reptile garden, where unusual lizards and snakes lived. Sophia noticed a brightly colored chameleon on a branch, its skin changing color slowly to match the leaves. She gasped softly. "Look, Clover. It's changing color. That's amazing." Clover tilted his head, amazed. "It's like magic. How does it do that?" A friendly zookeeper explained, "Chameleons change their color to communicate and to protect themselves from predators. Each pattern is unique." Sophia nodded, fascinated. "So it's not just beautiful, it's smart too." Clover bounced excitedly. "Wow, I didn't know animals could be that clever." Next, they moved toward the nocturnal animals section. Sophia had never seen animals that were awake during the night, and she was eager to learn. Bats hung upside down in a dark enclosure, opening their wings slowly. An owl perched on a branch, its large eyes blinking curiously. Sophia whispered, "They're so quiet and mysterious. I feel like they have secrets to share." Clover shivered a little. "I like the owl, but the bats are a little spooky." Sophia giggled. "They're not scary, Clover. They're just different from us." A zookeeper came by to tell Sophia about these nocturnal animals. She explained how they sleep during the day and hunt or explore at night. Sophia listened carefully, fascinated by the owl's keen vision and the bat's amazing ability to fly and find food in the dark. "Nature is so clever," Sophia whispered. Clover nodded. "Every animal has its own special talent." After leaving the nocturnal section, Sophia and Clover visited the exotic bird aviary. Birds of all shapes and colors filled the enclosure. Parrots, toucans, and cockatoos squawked cheerfully, flying from branch to branch. One parrot landed near Sophia and tilted its head curiously. She smiled. "Hello, friend. You're so colorful." The parrot responded with a squawk, then fluttered to a higher branch. Clover tried to mimic the parrot's sound, producing a funny squeak that made Sophia laugh. Their next adventure took them to the amphibian area. Frogs of every color hopped around small ponds, while salamanders moved slowly across damp leaves. Sophia crouched down to watch them closely. "They're so small, but they're full of energy," she whispered. Clover watched the frogs jump and squeaked softly. "They're like tiny athletes." Sophia laughed. "Yes, Clover. Every animal has its own way of moving and surviving." Then, they reached the small mammal section, where hedgehogs, sugar gliders, and tiny ferrets lived. Sophia gently petted a soft hedgehog, marveling at its spines. Clover tried to touch a sugar glider, but it quickly jumped to another branch. Sophia smiled. "They're quick and playful, Clover. You have to be gentle and patient with them." Clover nodded, learning the lesson carefully. The most exciting part of the day was when Sophia visited the lemur enclosure. Lemurs leapt gracefully from branch to branch, their long tails balancing them perfectly. One curious lemur came close to Sophia and Clover, tilting its head as if inspecting them. Sophia extended her hand slowly, speaking softly. "Hello, little friend. You're so playful." The lemur twitched its nose, then bounced back to its group. Clover bounced with excitement. "They're amazing. I've never seen animals move like that." Sophia realized that each unusual animal she met taught her something new. The chameleon showed her adaptability, the nocturnal animals showed her patience and quiet observation, the birds showed her joy and freedom, and the lemurs and amphibians showed her agility and curiosity. Clover watched her closely and whispered, "Princess Sofia, I think every animal has a lesson for us." Sophia smiled warmly. "You're right, Clover. We just need to watch, listen, and learn." By late afternoon, Sophia and Clover sat on a bench to rest. The zoo had been full of surprises, unusual sights, and new lessons. Sophia took out her notebook and carefully wrote down everything she had learned. She realized that visiting the zoo was not just fun, it was educational and inspiring. As the sun began to lower, casting golden light over the zoo, Sophia felt a deep sense of appreciation. Each animal, no matter how big or small, unusual or familiar, had something to teach. Clover hopped excitedly beside her. "Princess Sofia, that was the best day. I can't believe all the amazing animals we saw." Sophia smiled, holding Clover's paw gently. "I feel the same way, Clover. Each animal has its own story, its own way of living, and its own special talents. And we get to learn from them. That's the magic of visiting the zoo. As they left the zoo, Sofia looked back at the enclosures filled with playful lemurs, graceful birds, and clever reptiles. She felt proud of how much she had learned and excited for tomorrow's adventure. There were still more animals to see, more lessons to learn, and more fun to be had. Sofia knew that her days at the zoo were teaching her more than she ever imagined. About animals, about kindness, about patience, and about herself. And she couldn't wait to continue her journey of discovery with Clover by her side. The next morning, Princess Sofia woke up feeling excited and a little nostalgic. Today would be her last full day at the zoo for this visit, and she wanted to make the most of it. She dressed in her favorite pink dress, tied her hair neatly, and packed her backpack with her notebook, snacks, and water. Clover bounced beside her, practically vibrating with energy. "Princess Sofia, I can't wait to see our last adventure today," he exclaimed. Sofia smiled and held his paw. "Me too, Clover. Let's visit the animals we haven't seen yet and say hello to some of our favorites." Their first stop was the aquarium section, where brightly colored fish swam gracefully in large tanks. Sofia leaned close to watch them glide through the water. "Look at how they move together, Clover. It's like they're dancing." Clover bounced with excitement. "Wow, they really are like a little underwater ballet." Sofia giggled, taking out her notebook to write down interesting facts about the fish, their colors, and their movements. Next, they visited the kangaroo enclosure. Several kangaroos were hopping around, using their strong tails to balance. A baby kangaroo peeked out of its mother's pouch, making Sofia smile. "They're so strong, yet gentle with their babies," she whispered. Clover hopped beside her. "I like how they carry their little ones. It's like a cozy backpack." Sofia laughed. "Yes, Clover. They take care of their families just like we do." After the kangaroos, they wandered toward the lemur enclosure again. The playful lemurs leaped gracefully between branches, showing off their balance and agility. One curious lemur came close and tilted its head at Sofia. She crouched slightly and whispered softly, "Hello again. You're so playful and clever." Clover tried to mimic the lemur's movements, hopping carefully from rock to rock. Sofia giggled. "Not quite as graceful as them, Clover, but you're trying." Their next stop was the giant tortoise area. Sofia watched as a large tortoise slowly moved across the grass, lifting its head and plodding along with quiet determination. She knelt down and observed it carefully. "Look, Clover. Slow and steady, but strong and purposeful." Clover nodded thoughtfully. "They might be slow, Princess Sofia, but they never give up. That's really smart." Sofia smiled. "Yes, Clover. Patience and persistence are important lessons for everyone." By midday, Sofia and Clover were feeling a little tired, so they sat in a shaded picnic area to rest and enjoy some sandwiches. Sofia looked at Clover, who was nibbling on his snack happily. "Clover, I think my favorite part of visiting the zoo isn't just seeing the animals," she said thoughtfully. "It's learning from them and seeing how each of them is special in their own way." Clover nodded. "Yes, Princess Sofia. Every animal teaches us something, and we can use those lessons too." After lunch, they visited the butterfly garden one last time. Hundreds of colorful butterflies floated gently around, landing softly on flowers and leaves. Sofia stood still, watching them in awe. She noticed how every butterfly moved gracefully, never harming the flowers it landed on. "They're so delicate, yet so beautiful," she whispered. Clover hopped quietly beside her. "I like how careful they are. They remind us to be gentle." Sofia nodded. "Yes, Clover. We can be strong and brave like some animals, gentle and careful like others, and kind to everyone just like the butterflies." Next, they wandered to the petting area to say goodbye to the friendly goats and rabbits. Sofia gently stroked a soft rabbit and whispered, "Thank you for letting me visit you. You've taught me patience and kindness." Clover fed a little goat, and the goat nuzzled his hand affectionately. "I'm going to miss all these animals, Princess Sofia," he said softly. Sofia smiled, feeling a warm glow in her heart. Me too, Clover. But the lessons we learned from them will stay with us forever. Courage, patience, kindness, teamwork, curiosity, every animal showed us something important. Before leaving, they stopped at the zookeeper station. Sofia thanked the zookeepers for teaching her so much about the animals. I've learned so many amazing things today, she said. Thank you for showing me how to care for animals and respect their homes. The zookeepers smiled warmly. You're very welcome, Princess Sofia. Remember, caring for animals and nature is a lesson for life. As the sun began to set, Sofia and Clover walked slowly toward the zoo exit. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink, reflecting the magical feeling of the day. Sofia looked back at the enclosures filled with playful monkeys, graceful birds, colorful fish, and gentle butterflies. She felt proud of herself for learning so much and for treating every animal with respect and kindness. Clover bounced happily beside her. Princess Sofia, today was the best day. I'll never forget it. Sofia smiled, patting Clover's head gently. I won't forget it either, Clover. Every animal we met today taught us something special, and we can carry those lessons with us forever. And the best part is, tomorrow we can have even more adventures, learning and exploring together. As they reached the castle gates, Sofia took one last look at the zoo. She felt grateful for the wonderful experiences, the playful animals, and the lessons they had taught her. She whispered softly, "Thank you, animals. You've made this adventure unforgettable. I'll always remember you." That night, as Sofia went to bed, she dreamed of monkeys swinging, fish dancing in the water, lemurs leaping gracefully, and butterflies fluttering around flowers. She realized that visiting the zoo had not only been fun but also a magical learning experience. She had discovered courage, patience, teamwork, and kindness, all through the eyes of the amazing animals she had met. Princess Sofia smiled in her sleep, knowing that the zoo adventure was only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new friends, and more exciting discoveries. But today she had learned something truly special. Every creature, big or small, has something to teach us if we take the time to notice and care.